So it's going to be the curriculum.
All right, are we ready to get started?
We are.
All right. What we're going to make first, this is one of my standards in my house, and I've tweaked it a little bit to where it's cleanse friendly. We've been talking about the cleanse Tamara before you got here. You're currently on it. You're on it. I'm doing it. Dorothy's about to do it. We are about 100% in this room needing to eat like this,
Yes.
right? So what we're going to make is cream and broccoli soup. Now, that sounds like we shouldn't be able to have it, right? But the cream that we're going to use is unsweetened almond milk. We don't eat dairy for the first 10 days of the cleanse. But it's okay, we can handle that. But we can do some unsweetened almond milk, okay?
Yeah.
So I will start cutting this onion. Will you put a little bit of olive oil in here, Maryanna, please?
And use olive oil. That's the oil to use. And you use also what, avocado oil?
I use flaxseed oil if it's in a salad dressing. If I'm cooking, I do olive oil.
What about coconut?
Coconut oil is wonderful too. The problem is my daughter, who's in your daughter's class, by the way, everything we were just talking about, they're in the same class, the same history class. She doesn't love the taste of it anymore. Now she catches me when I use it.
I love it.
Did you put coconut oil in here? And I'll say yes, and then she won't want to eat it. So I just had to change. Will you put those in there for me? All right, so what we have is 1 onion, okay? We are putting in 1 onion. And this is gonna get blended, so we just kind of want to give it a big chop to get it in there. And we want to turn that up a little bit. Let's get it sizzling.
Now you saw how she cut that onion.
Did you see that? That's a good little trick. Cut it in half. Go in like twice, about as far as you can. Not all the way to the end, so it stays together. Turn it, go to the top, and then down that way.
Yeah.
And you get like this, nice and quick. Okay? Then
Now I've been using more onions since you were here last time.
Do you remember what we said about onions last time?
Yes, they take the poison out, right?
Here you go.
They're
They detoxify every cell in your body. Remember the God's so cool, he made foods look like what they're good for.
Yes.
Carrots for eyes, walnuts for brains, almonds for liver. I mean, it just goes celery for bones.
Carrots for eyes?
Yeah.
So cool.
When you cut a carrot,
it looks like an eye.
think about it.
I said, how's a carrot look
That
like an eye?
circle.
Yeah. Onions look like a cell, and they're good for every cell in your body because they help to pull the toxins out of the cells, just like they pull a splinter out of your skin or can pull a virus out of the air.
Yeah.
If you have any idea what I'm saying, otherwise I know
Mom,
that
we're not
sounds
talking
crazy,
about
but look it
blooming
up.
onions, okay?
Blooming
All right, you can go ahead and put that garlic in there. So we've got 1 onion in. We're gonna put a little garlic. I like to do, even if the recipe says to start with garlic, I don't because the risk of burning garlic is real. And if it does, you're washing the pot, you're starting all over again. So
Now, can you buy that garlic that's already grated and put in a jar?
you can, but you're losing out on some of the nutrition.
Okay.
You know, think about it. The enzymes come to life when you cut it. So how long ago was it cut in that tube?
Yeah.
If that's your only option, then yes, that's better than nothing, okay?
And that's something
So
you
I
taught
went and bought a
me.
big jar of garlic. Anybody want my jar of garlic?
But no, that's something Heather
use
taught
it,
me
use
about. You got to eat the real thing, you know. And as soon as you cut it, you lose something of it. So, like my smoothies or my juice that I used to make, you know, just start with the original vegetable or fruit.
All right, you can put that broccoli in there, and I'm going to go ahead and do both of these. One of my things I love about broccoli is I love the inside of the stalks. Have y'all ever eaten that?
I do too.
I do too.
Do you ever had broccoli slaw?
Yes.
It's made from this, from the inside here. I wish I knew. I'm sure there's a name for it. Kim would know. She's probably saying it right now. But whenever I'm using broccoli, I always take it and I still use it. And I'll either use it in stir fry, roasted veggies, or just throw it right in there. It's got a really good flavor.
Cut the outside off.
Okay, so what we're doing is we're just trying to cook the broccoli and the onions, get it a little bit sauteed in there. So just a rough chop.
Doesn't that look good?
Oh, broccoli's so good. What does that make you think of? If you had to say what that's good for based on what we just talked about, what would that make you think of in your body?
Nerves.
What organ?
Brain. I don't know. What does it make you think of?
I think of hair. I don't know why.
Bad hair day.
Because you see those heads with that broccoli
Of course,
top.
it's good for so many things, but you can go ahead and put the rest of that in there too.
What is it?
Lungs.
Oh, lungs.
Oh,
The
the
green-
bronchial.
Yeah. The green leafy vegetables and broccoli and your cruciferous vegetables, good for your whole body, but lungs. Isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? Because it gives you oxygen. It helps spread oxygen through your body. which
awesome.
helps the lungs. Tomatoes, what are they good for?
Heart.
Right? And have you ever thought about the 4 chambers of a heart when you cut a tomato in half? It has 4 chambers? All right, I'll stop.
You're good.
Okay,
Now what's that?
this is vegetable broth, okay? 3 cups of it. And what we're doing now, we have the onions, the broccoli, and the garlic, and we are gonna cook them down in broth.
That smells amazing.
I know.
You like that?
Oh, I
All right,
know.
so we're gonna let that cook for just a couple minutes. What are your favorite things to eat, Maryanna, on the cleanse?
Well, broccoli is definitely one of them. And what I do sometimes, this is great because if you have a little more time, make this. But I love to chop up broccoli, put just a little bit of olive oil on it, a little bit of Celtic salt or Himalayan salt, and I've got this little panini maker, and I put it in the panini maker, and I set it down there just so it gets a little crispy on top. And then I use that. That is my good carb, and it is easy as pie to make because you're eating just the vegetable, and it's good with the little bit of olive oil, and there's your fat, your carb and your fat, and then put a little protein with it, and you're set to go. So that's my favorite veggie to make very quickly. I like asparagus, anything green.
Do you know that I was told broccoli was man-made? Is that true?
Wait, what?
They made it. It was
Broccoli.
Yeah, someone told me that.
Mutated? I haven't heard
It was
that.
one of our cooks told us that.
I don't know
believe
about
that to
one.
be true. No,
Yeah.
I haven't.
I have to look that up. They
I
always
would
say,
say
look
no.
it up and
Check it out.
check your
No,
source.
I mean we
Yeah.
know that's not right. I mean they,
Ask Siri. Ask Siri.
right?
Oh yeah, she knows everything.
She knows everything.
She does.
Okay, so we need that to come to a boil. Why don't you talk a little bit after we're done with the soup? We're gonna let it simmer, and then Maryanna's gonna start on her salmon. Is that okay if we go ahead and talk about that just a little bit?
Sure.
Do you want to do that? Let me bring this over here, and you can show it while you're talking about it.
All right, I'm a fish person. I love salmon. I love that it has already 2 of the things that I need in my body for this particular lifestyle. My fish is my protein, and it already has the fat in there. So there's 2. Check. And then I just love throwing any kind of fish, especially salmon, because of the rich flavor, over a big bed of spinach. And there's your carb. It's so good. You put a little bit of, olive oil and vinegar on it, or a little pinch of lemon, and it is so tasty. So the first thing I do is you want to, and this is the healthiest way to do it because you're not using a lot. You're using water to pretty much soak it in for a couple of hours before you actually cook it. I've got water in there and Celtic salt.
Why do you do that?
You know what? When I was told this recipe, it makes it just flakier, and and the flavor is much better this way.
Now I see it has a skin still on, because do you buy it with the skin on?
The skin is on there, and either way, I cook it with the skin. We were just talking about this before we started, and I cook it with the skin on there, and you'll see in a minute, we'll cook it until it reaches the middle point, and then you flip it over, and then you cook it till it reaches the middle part, because you want that middle section to just be just cooked. You don't want it raw, but just cooked and good and flavorful. But it, do you like salmon?
I don't
We
like
don't eat
No,
fish,
you don't like salmon?
but to eat it even a touch raw,
Oh yeah.
I can't even imagine.
Well, see, I'm a sushi person.
You're
so.
sushi.
Yeah.
I have an answer on the broccoli.
Yes, ma'am.
Broccoli is man-made.
See,
It was carefully bred by Italian farmers more than 2,000 years ago, carefully breeding different types of wild cabbage to create it.
Okay, so it was hybrid. It's
Wow.
a hybrid.
hybrid.
It's
didn't make it
basically
up,
different
but they
cabbages
put-
that they
Yes.
bred together to form the broccoli.
Yeah, I had a
interesting.
cook tell
Learn
me that
something
one
new.
time.
Yeah.
That's interesting. All right, let me tell you real quick the next step that we're going to do with the soup. All right, we've let it cook down a little bit. And what we're going to do is take it scoop by scoop out of here into the blender, okay? Then in the same pot that we had this in, we're going to make a roux. But instead of using butter and flour, we're going to use olive oil and flour. Make sense? Okay? And I've got my Ninja, so it'll take me a couple times here. I like to leave some chunks. But see, that's why we have the broth in there, because we need a little bit of liquid for this step. But I do like to leave some chunks in there. Okay?
Well, for people who don't have a blender, they could use, just cut it smaller, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
And yeah, you could, exactly. You could just cut it smaller. Like I said, I like to leave some good chunks, but this is a really cool part. We have a green blender theme today, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
right.
Tamara, you missed the Fruity Pebbles.
Oh, it was
Were you,
good.
did you hear that part?
This one.
No, you didn't.
Do you like Fruity Pebbles?
I won't eat Fruity Pebbles.
No, don't eat Fruity Pebbles.
I'm not going to
They
eat Fruity
weren't.
She's
Pebbles.
not
That's why I'm
talking
like,
eating it.
no, you didn't eat Fruity
You know
Pebbles.
I
I know
would-
you didn't eat Fruity Pebbles.
She wasn't talking about eating Fruity Pebbles, drinking it. She made a.
She didn't use really Fruity Pebbles.
No, that's what they
I
call
know
it.
better.
You know me
I
better
know
than
better. Let's
this
see.
is something-
All the dyes and the sugar. Yeah.
It looks like you're mixing that up really good.
Isn't that cool? I love my Ninja. It's a cotton Ninja.
I mean, if you're eating something that looks like that, you know you're doing
You
good.
know you're doing good.
I mean, that is so pretty and green and just, you know.
Yeah, I got to tell you this. I stayed with my daughter-in-law. She was going to get me healed. When I was itching so bad, she decided she was going to get me healed. I'm going to stay with her for a week. For a week, she took the darkest, greenest vegetables and did it. And it was the worst, ugliest tasting thing I ever tasted. And I went there from Sunday to Thursday. By Thursday, then she gave me, the last thing she gave me was a glass of apple cider vinegar. I got so sick. I said, I am not doing another one.
Well, and then what she did, we met her at Disney for Night of Joy, which was a Christian concert. Here she is in this little chair eating a steak. With her. She told
Nobody
the
was
guy,
around.
the chef, there she goes, look, my daughter-in-law has forced me to eat nothing but greens for a whole week. Please, I need meat.
Give me a steak.
And
He said,
did.
here, I'm buying this for
He
you.
bought it for me,
That is too
and then they
funny.
caught me.
That is
it was
too
so
funny. You got
funny.
busted.
I did.
That is too funny.
Okay, so,
All right, so
she's
you
mixed
ladies
everything.
familiar with making a roux? You know what that means?
Yes.
It's a way to thicken. And many times you start with this in a sauce, but since this is a soup, we need it, you know, and plus we're getting some of the flavor in there. So I just put in some olive oil, probably about 4 to 5 tablespoons. And then I am going to put in some flour. This is whole wheat flour. You can use almond flour if you're
Whole wheat
gluten
flour?
free.
You're using whole wheat flour?
Yeah.
I thought that wasn't good for you.
Not for the cleanse.
Well,
and
it's
not-
only 4 tablespoons. You can do the almond flour
used
too.
Almond flour. I
Yeah.
bought it at your at your place.
Yeah.
And that would be perfect for this face. All right, so I'm going to do a little bit.
Is that
So
olive
basically,
oil?
this is just putting together a fat and a thickener. You know, cornstarch worked really well too. So we're creating the base here, and we're going to add the soup back to the pot. And as this heats up and gets through the soup, it's going to thicken it. Okay? Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see if we can make this happen safely. Can you hold? Yeah. All right, we're coming in hot. Make sure you don't splatter on you.
So good.
Yeah, it does. I thought it looked like you were grinding it all
I did.
up.
That was my
did.
method of blending. I blended about 90% of the soup.
Oh, okay.
Left some good chunks.
So I cooked it down, put it in a blender. If I'd had a bigger blender, I could have done it all at once. So, but I wanted to use the same pot to make the roux in. So I had to get it out of this pot by blending it, putting it in a holding place, and bringing it back. So now all of that flavor is going to be coming through. And we need to season with what? What are we going to season
Himalayan
with?
salt.
Celtic, but yes,
Celtic, I
Himalayan's
mean.
wonderful too.
I
But
went
I'm a
and bought
Celtic
that
girl.
at your place too.
Did you?
Yep.
Heather's a Celtic girl. I'm more of a
Yeah.
Himalayan girl.
Yeah.
And that's fine. We respect all.
All nationalities.
No, we just respect two salts.
We respect the Himalayas and the coastlines of France, because that's where this comes from. Will you give me a nice good pinch of that?
Sure.
We're multinational around here with our salt choices. The important thing is that you use one of those two. That's because the mineral content, that salt is full. It's still full of the minerals. It's like taking trace mineral supplements.
Yes.
It also, because of that, you're getting maybe about 5 to 10% sodium. It has some salt. You know, we would die without salt, so we do need a little bit. The problem is table salt is just what's left over after they've taken all the good stuff out and sold it in the form
Yeah.
of minerals, right?
Yeah.
So why not just eat seawater dried up?
I know when I was running my marathon in San Diego, closer towards the end, we would carry salt packs with us.
Oh, yeah.
And during the race, take the
did?
salt. Oh, yeah.
She says if you put this under your tongue, one of these,
Yeah.
this one under your tongue, and a glass of water, you get all kinds of energy.
Really?
Yeah, it's good for your adrenal glands. All right,
Very
last
good.
thing I'm gonna do, this is unsweetened almond milk, okay? We are gonna put that in, and that is going to activate with the roux and thicken it. And then we're good. We're just gonna let this simmer for a little bit, okay?
Great.
Wow, it looks great.
Great.
All right, so now the salmon, can we continue with
Yep,
the
the
salmon?
salmon's ready. It's been soaking in the Celtic, not the Himalayan. I went with the heather salt today. And it's been soaking in the water, and basically we're just going to cook each side of it until it cooks to the middle, like I was telling you about. You don't want it raw, so you want to cook all the way to the middle, flip it over, and cook all the way to the middle.
And here is your pan. So I guess that would be a brine, right? You've soaked it in a brine for about an hour.
I'm going to use,
And that's so great because you're not going to have to add a lot of extra seasonings that many times will bring you fat.
So you've soaked that in water.
She soaked that in
And now,
water with
what are
Celtic
you
sea
putting
salt.
on the bottom? Nothing?
Nope,
on your
just a
pan?
really good nonstick pan. We brought that one.
make sure you get a nonstick
I made
pan.
her get rid of the steak.
We brought that one. In fact, that's a
Teflon.
really high quality one, and it's safe. We're
Okay.
good. We're good.
I said, you can't use Teflon
know.
on this set. And I made her get rid of it. Because Teflon is not really, it can be cancerous.
I don't know that, so I'm
And-
not going to stand by that.
Well, that's what another cook told me. So
All right.
I get rid of it, but now she's got a high quality one there.
Yes, I do. I brought that myself.
that,
Do
yeah.
you season that or anything? Or I guess it's been seasoned by
It has.
soaking.
It already has
Okay.
absorbed that Celtic salt in there, and the flavor is going to be really good. Now, sometimes you'll want to season maybe with, like I said, lemon squeeze, or I love fresh ground pepper,
Oh,
and
look
so
at
I
that,
put
pretty.
olive oil and apple cider vinegar in there. Mix it all together. And with the cleanse that we're doing, you don't want to do more than a tablespoon. If that, but
Right.
a tablespoon, is a lot.
Well, let's talk about portion sizes for just a
yeah,
minute.
that's a great idea.
For protein, on the cleanse phase, and even throughout the lifestyle, this is still how I'm eating 5-6 months out, and I'm starting my cleanse over. But lean protein, which salmon would be, and again, this is why this program or this jump start is so amazing, because like we said, protein, good carb, good fat, but what you want in those categories are up to you. Like what Chris James has, it's going to be a little bit different than what Maryanna Thornton has, right? A little bit.
Probably a lot.
Has a lot to do with this.
Yeah, but the protein is the size of your palm, this and this. Okay, so that's about 3 to 4 ounces. Whether it's a hard-boiled egg, edamame, turkey pepperoni, or salmon, right?
Or tofu.
Or tofu, yep. All right, then your good carb is about what you can hold in your hand. Good carbs are fruits and veggies, berries. What's your go-to?
For my snack, I do about 3 strawberries or a handful of blueberries. For my meal, maybe 5 or 6 strawberries.
Yeah.
And a little more blueberries.
And then your good fat, what she was referring to. Your good fat, if it's straight up fat, it's about a tablespoon, about the size of the top of your thumb. If you're pulling it from another source, such as avocado, almonds, walnuts, all the list of foods that we give you in the meal plan, it might be like half an avocado, 7 almonds.
Wow.
So,
And
But
because
that's
the
important.
salmon has some fat in it, you wouldn't want to use, maybe a half a tablespoon of this to get the rest of your fat on there.
Yeah.
You just want to be very, and you get to the point, it's a mindset, and that's what I told Heather was so unbelievable, that all of a sudden this just got in my head, and I knew what I was doing, and I knew the choices to make, and I knew that I needed my protein, good carb, good fat, and I started just memorizing the portions. And so now it's just, you don't even think about it.
You don't even think about it.
Yeah, yeah. It's a neat program. It really is. And it's
Now,
a
you're
lifestyle.
just searing that on low.
Yes, let's see. How do you know, Maryanna, this is yours? How do you know when you just watch it?
Yeah, and actually, it's not on low. It's pretty high.
Okay.
I have it on about 8 right now. But yeah, and I just watch it, and I got this off the internet. It was just, I don't even know who it was, but she said just simply watch it till it gets cooked into the middle, and flip it over, and cook it into the other side.
Here you go, see?
Can you use that in your pan?
As long as she's careful. Yeah, that's such a quality pan. You can't
Scrape it. And
you can't mess it up. Nope.
Now, if you're going to use Teflon, do not buy an inexpensive one. Buy
That's
an
true.
expensive
That's true.
Yeah.
because it can be harmful if you
Right,
do.
right. And like I said, with the protein and fat already in there, what are you missing?
Yeah.
You're missing your carb.
Yeah.
So you need your carb, and that's where we're going to throw our big old
Spinach.
greens on there. And I remember Heather telling me, she goes, eat as many greens, leafy greens as you want. And that was very appealing to me because not only do I like them, but it also, of course, it's got all that good fiber and everything you need in it, but it fills you up. It really does. I've never been hungry yet on any of the phases that I've been on.
You know, I can eat a huge meal and I'm still hungry. I'll leave the restaurant and think,
Maybe you're not getting enough
But what
nutrition.
are you eating?
I'm not feeling good.
If you get
I'm
the
not
nutrition,
eating.
you'll be full.
Yeah.
Maybe your body's craving the nutrition you're not getting.
There
What are you
must be
saying? You
some-
eat a big meal and you're still hungry?
Uh-huh.
That's because you're feeding the bad bacteria. I'm not saying you are, but that is an
No.
indication of that. Have you ever noticed, like, if you have a day where you just go for it, maybe birthday cake,
Yeah.
you got kids' parties or whatever, and you just splurge, you wake up the next morning and you're still hungry. And you're like, how is that possible? I ate so much yesterday.
Yeah.
The reason why is there's good guys and bad guys in your gut, good bacteria and bad bacteria. When we feed, they both want to eat. I mean, they're both hungry. They both want strength. So when we feed the bad guys, they get stronger, the good guys get weaker, right? That makes sense. Other way around, the other way happens. So when you're feeding the bad guys, they get stronger, and they are signaling your brain, feed us more, feed us more, feed us more. The good guys want this food. And
I
that's
like
how
the
it
good
changes
food,
when they
but-
say, like, when you feed yourself the good stuff, you start craving that after a while. And that's because you are now nourishing the good bacteria. It's getting stronger, and it wants more broccoli, salmon, protein. Good. So that it's truly biological what's happening.
Wow.
So you really were hungry. You weren't crazy. That was really happening.
Right.
It was
Yeah.
your gut telling your brain, I need to eat.
Yeah, and I said, this is crazy. I just had a big dinner.
Yeah.
It's starting to get to
Is
the
it
middle.
starting?
Yeah. You know,
You can tell because, Russell, if you get a shot of
Changes
that,
color.
'cause
This
it
one in
changes
particular.
color, right? It goes, the color goes
a
up.
little wider up the side. Now this one's a little thicker over
Have to
here
bring it
than
over
this
here.
one, so we'll just kind of wait on that one.
It has to come here.
But you know, talking along those lines of what you crave, my sister, who lives in Virginia, she's doing this, and she has just finished her cleanse phase, and she told me, she said, Maryanna, I don't want bad food anymore. Like, I don't crave it, you know? And I've heard that over and over again, you know, my kids eating their chicken nuggets, and I used to eat the one that they didn't eat, and I'm not eating it anymore because my mind's just different,
Yeah.
you know, and I guess my gut's different,
It is.
according to what Heather said.
It is.
She lost 12 pounds and said, don't lose no more.
It's time to tone now.
Yeah, these two girls are so thin.
Well, it's fun. I mean, how fun getting to feel better, getting to the point where you wake up out of bed, you want to get up, you want to do stuff. You're
Yeah.
truly happy, you're truly joyful, and it shows, you know?
Yeah.
So it's great.
Well, I like to eat and I'm truly happy, so.
Yeah.
I went ahead and flip this one over.
did it. I did.
That one's getting.
This one
Hey,
was a
now,
little
so is the skin going to
thinner.
come off?
The
Is that?
skin actually starts to come out, come off on its own, so you can kind of see it's going to be easy to peel off. This one is going to cook a little faster than this one. Are you
Now
smelling
it's
it?
not pink
Oh, yeah.
anymore.
Right.
Right.
The inside's pink, huh?
That looks so pretty. See, I love salmon. Oh,
Oh, you do?
oh my gosh. I can eat it
A lot of
every
people
meal.
love salmon.
To me, it doesn't taste fishy. That's why I like it. It's not a fishy fish. Yeah?
Well,
So
It's-
sushi would never be on your plate.
no.
All right, so what I'm going to start working on here while the rest of that salmon's
Yeah,
finishing up.
this is done.
Is it good?
That
And I was going to show
salmon
how
looks
easy it
so
is to peel off the
wonderful.
skin. Look,
Oh,
that just
gosh.
comes right off. And you can just kind of throw that away. I mean, this is good stuff right here. Look at that side. Ooh, it's got a little bit of crispy on that side.
Looks
And
wonderful.
here's the skin too. We'll just peel that off. Comes right off.
You flipping
Get
that
another
over. Oh,
crispy. We got crispy, and then we've got
Yeah.
a little softer on
Yeah.
that side.
isn't that beautiful? Yeah, that's what I was trying to
So
think
you
of
can
too,
show
Russell.
both ways.
That's gorgeous. Okay,